Wow, it's good to have you today. It's an amazing time again today on Business MuMu platform. It's a pleasure to have you here today, and I'm so amazed and you know honored by the love and the show of care from everybody around the world towards this platform. It's another time today to learn something great, to get your business in the right position for you to maximize profit and minimize costs as we make Africa great again from the perspective of business. Um, with me today, I'm going to be having Omobabinrin Adeola Osideko, the brand expert, to take us through whatever it is you want to know about him, maximizing your brand corporately and even personally. And I'm going to be having my co-anchor also, um, Prince David, to be with me here on this platform. It's good to have you amazed at your show of love, and it is interesting to be here again. This is business platform. We are here to reduce business mortality in Africa and to increase the rate of prosperity of our citizens. So it's another amazing time today. And why stay back a bit? Let me just give you a brief introduction for today. Okay.
A brand managed or run company is usually well known, and it gets that brand into the consideration set of customers. By the word consideration set means when a buyer is about to buy in that product category, what companies come up? Like you're going to buy an automobile. Most companies are not even in your consideration set. Maybe the automobiles are too cheap or they're too expensive. There's a consideration set. It's a choice between Toyota and Honda or whatever. So you want a strong brand means it's usually in the consideration set. And then you would think you're brand led if people know a lot about the brand, your brand. They know the character of your company, the positioning and the value proposition and why they should be interested enough in you. Also, buyers normally have emotions toward a brand. It's not enough to say that they know the brand, they have a feeling for the brand. And it's a positive feeling. And then the company has a brand strategy process. There's a process, I'll outline that for you. And there are documents about the branding activities. They're sort of secret documents, they're not public, but they have worked through branding. And such a company is probably measuring brand equity. And brand equity can be tracked. And you know, you hope it goes up every quarter, or at least it's not down. And if you want a way to measure brand equity, there's different systems, by the way. It's really an averaging of a set of things. Among the things that would be measured before you average those things with a weighted average would be amount of customer awareness. Has that increased? It's good if more customers have heard about you. The level of favorability, how favorable is your brand seen to be? And some other factors, including a new one that has been called momentum. Didn't have momentum. Y&R is one company that has a system for measuring brand equity that they have publicly described, and you could see it in literature or you could contact Y&R. And who has momentum? We would say now Google has a lot of momentum. I mean, look at all they're exciting, the things they've developed. Nokia has a lot of momentum. I think Samsung is growing in momentum in the cell phone business, and so on. In any case, if you can get some tracking system, you will be responsible for increasing brand equity, which really means that if you ever wanted to sell the brand, you've increased its value. I mean, what are you selling if you sell your brand? You know, Coca-Cola wants $70 billion if you want to buy their brand. According to Interbrand. Interbrand's measure says Coke would be call for $70 billion. But brand equity is to be measured. If you're not measuring it, please make a note and find out what you can. One of the best sources, Kevin Keller's book, is Strategic Brand Management, is very good on explaining brand equity and measures of it. Customer equity ought to be measured. It's a different concept. Let's take a single customer. Suppose you could, for any single customer, estimate how much he or she will buy and how long. Maybe they'll be a customer for about 4 years, and they'll buy maybe the constant amount or even a growing volume. And what will your margin be, your profit margin be on what they buy? And bring all those numbers back to the present by discounting. You know, we call it the present value of a future income stream. And that's for one customer. Now, if you can do for all your customers, that sums to the customer equity. It's the equity you have in your customers. Two companies may be in the same business and have the same number of customers. Each company has 100 customers. Consider two medical practices. So each doctor has 100 patients. Doesn't mean the customer equity is the same. One physician may have customers who are much older, so the number of years they're going to continue to be getting their services from the doctor will be less than where there's a younger patient set, and so on and so forth. So customer equity is a kind of a present value of the income stream you're going to get from your present customers. And there's a relationship between customer equity and brand equity. Sometimes one is better to measure than another. Both of them figure into what we call valuing your company. Like if you were to sell a part of your company, you'd like to base it pretty much on the brand equity or the customer equity, or both.
The term branding, people use it interchangeably with logo design, identity design, or even sometimes typography. And maybe we need to set the record straight. I know you're the best person to tell us. What is branding, Marty?
Yeah, so let's start with what branding isn't.
Okay.
It's because it's not a lot of things people say it is. It's not a logo.
Okay.
A logo is a very useful tool for a business, but it's not the brand. It's a symbol for the brand. A brand is not a product. So when people talk about this brand, buying this brand or that brand, they're really talking about buying one product or another product. The brand is not that. People say the brand is a promise the company makes to customers, and there's some truth in that.
Yep.
I mean, it does end up acting as a promise, but that's not what it is either. Advertising people like to say, well, it's the sum of all the impressions that a company makes on an audience.
Yeah.
Well, if you're trying to sell a lot of impressions, I can see where that might be useful to you. But from a business's point of view, why do they want that? Right. So, and how does that help
Self-serving
creative people understand what they're doing?
Right.
So none of those things are really what branding is. A brand is a result. It's a customer's gut feeling about a product, a service, or a company. It ends up in their heads, in their hearts. They take whatever raw materials you throw at them, they make something out of it. They're making it. They're creating it. And so create a brand, you're not creating one brand, you're creating millions of brands, however many customers or people in your audience. Each one has a different brand of you. So a brand is like a reputation, right? So it's your business reputation, and everyone's going to be a little bit different about what that reputation is. And that's okay, as long as you've got it corralled mostly where you want it, and that it's beneficial to the company. So we tend to look at companies and designers tend to look at branding as, from our point of view, like this is something we're doing. We're telling a story. We're making a claim. We're making a pitch. And that's what we do, but that's not what a brand is. A brand is the result of that. And if you don't start there, you don't know what you're doing. You actually don't know what you think you know what you're doing, but you don't. So from a designer's point of view, I mean, I always tended to be this way. It's like, it was my gut feeling, right, about whether this is going to work or not. And then I would sell it as hard as I could to get the client to sign off on it. From the client's point of view, they're going, well, it's a checklist. I got the logo, I got the tagline, I got the ad campaign, click, check, and they think they're done.
Right.
None of that's right. What's right is what happens in people's heads. Like, what have we achieved? Like, what's the reputation that we've created through the products we're putting out, like the design of the products, the messaging we're putting out, the look and feel of them, our culture, how does that affect people? How our employees behave, how is that affecting our reputation? All that stuff counts. So it's a big world, and it actually takes in almost all of business. Not so much finance, but finance is involved too, because finance has to greenlight all these things. But almost everybody in a company is, affecting the brand, doing something with the brand, doing it for the brand, or hurting the brand. So you got to think of it that way.
Whew. I didn't want to say one word because that was perfect. This is unscripted. Marty's just talking from decades of experience and writing and articulating this. It's very clear to me.
I am live.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
It's a great pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning.
From Nigeria to Abidjan, Africa.
Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
It's a real privilege to have you. And one of those things we are still working on is, having good connectivity, especially in Africa. We have already had a problem. It's even better today. Last week was not interesting at all. But it's good to have you all the same. And one of those things that have really not been on our side in Africa is because of our national branding, as nations and as a continent. We have not been branded enough to really depict the quality and how resourceful we have. And that's why so many people have not seen us to be, really cool. And the issues we're having even in Nigeria, for instance, now, is not just peculiar to Nigeria. There are places around the world that have, worse stuff than that. But, they have been able to brand nationally and get things done, things moving. It's really amazing how much people don't know about brand. Many people have so much misconception about brand. So many people, they think they know about brand, but actually they don't know about brand. And it's going to be a swell time today with you. I'm so happy because it's a real privilege to have you on this platform today, and it's a pleasure. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. And with me today is Prince David. Very smart young man. Is doing great, and it's always a pleasure to have you here today. I think the last time we were on this platform together, it was your birthday. You are now wiser and smarter than you used to be. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming around. We had a very nice time starting off with that introductory video, and now I wouldn't like to take our time too much because the world is already waiting for us. The world is all here, and then they want to listen and learn one or two great things. So it's good to have you, Mark.
Thank you very much.
I would like you to just help us out and tell us how great you are.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's really good to be here. This is my first live video on LinkedIn. Let me clap for myself. I'm so excited to be here, sincerely. I just started using LinkedIn intentionally September 2020. I just said to myself, I think I need to be more intentional on this platform. I've always had the accounts years back, probably 2016. No, not 2016. Probably sometimes around 2014, 2013. But I've not been using the account, and it's just there. But last time I said to myself, I think you need to move. So that's by the way. So just like I said, I'm so excited to be here this morning. Good morning, and everyone once again. I'm streaming in Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is a country in West Africa. My name is Omobabinrin Adeola Osideko. I am a personal development coach and a branding expert. And today I'm going to be functioning as a branding expert. So, and I'm going to be speaking on branding. Branding. When we hear the word branding, most of the time, a lot of things comes to our mind. And unfortunately, we won't be able to say everything here today. But I was trying as much as possible to make sure we have a good knowledge, like a very good background knowledge of what branding is all about. So generally speaking, branding is all about perception, types of branding. And I'm going to be talking from just one part of it. Good morning, Dr. Charles. Good to have you on board. Thank you for joining. Good morning, everyone who is watching us. So I would like to define what I would like to explain the 3 types of branding we have. So the first type of brand we have is you. You are a brand. We call it personal branding. Personal branding is all about you as an individual, you as a person. So after personal branding, we have another thing called business branding. Then after business branding, we have something called corporate branding. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be swinging in and out of those 3 areas of branding. So, but basically, branding is all about perception. So when we say perception as a person, how do people perceive you? When they see you, what comes to their mind? How do they see you? What do they think of you? You as a person, what do you stand for? What is your uniqueness? What are the unique abilities that stand you out in the market? Why would I come to you instead of going to someone else? Why will ArkoFGod come to me to invite me for a live video instead of someone else who is also a branding expert? So what makes you unique in your niche, in your field, in your industry, even as a person? What makes you unique? What are the perception people have about you? We have so many people in the world today that when I mention their name, there's something about them that will always come to their mind. Okay, that will always come to your mind. Okay, for instance, when I mention Davido, like not even in Nigeria, all over the world, when I say Davido, a lot of people know Davido. And the first thing that will come to your mind is music, because that is what it stands for. That is what it represents. That is the perception you have about him when you hear his name. So what do people think of you when they hear your name? Is your name just every other name that when they hear, they just, okay, I don't even know who is that person, There should be something unique about you. When I say Nelson Mandela, everybody knows Nelson Mandela throughout the world. Probably the babies will just say, oh, I don't know who Nelson Mandela is. But of course, Nelson Mandela is a brand. Nelson Mandela, when we say Nelson Mandela, what comes to your mind? Freedom fighter, activist, politician, leadership. So those are the things that come to your mind. So those are the things that come to your mind. So branding, but now when we talk about business branding now, what comes to your mind when people hear the name of your business or they do business with you? What perception do you leave in the mind of your customers? What perception do you leave in the mind of your clients after doing business with you? What impression do they have about your business in terms of your delivery, your customer service, your values, your mission, your vision, your objectives as a business? What comes to their mind when they leave you? Do they leave you with the perception of, oh, you're a bad business person, or you're a banner, or they leave you with the impression that refer more people to this business? I had a fantastic time with them. So that is basically what branding is all about. And when we talk about corporate branding, we are talking about a higher level of business. We have business as a business name, and we also have a business as a corporate entity. So when a business is already registered as a limited liability company, they already have a corporate identity. So corporate brand is just like a step higher, a step higher than business branding. So for businesses, branding is also, so what step is not even for businesses alone. Another definition of branding, or another way we can look at branding, is what separates you from your competitors. I am Adeola. I am not sure of the numbers of Adeola we have in Nigeria. But I know we will have nothing less than 1 million people answering Adeola, or probably just 500,000 people answering the name Adeola. What makes my own Adeola unique? What makes my own Adeola unique is not because I added Omobabinrin to it. No, that is not the uniqueness. You know, that's not a uniqueness, because we can. It will even shock you that we even have people that have already added that Omobabinrin to their own Adeola. So what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
So what makes your own Adeola unique out of the 500,000 of Adeola we have in Nigeria, in all over the world, scattered all over the world, is the value you bring to the table. Is your uniqueness. Because the truth is, every one of us as individuals, we have our unique abilities. Your uniqueness. I am speaking here as a public speaker now. We have millions of public speakers all over the world.
Yeah.
But my own uniqueness comes from the way I am able to present my own presentation. The way the uniqueness comes from how I am able to deliver my own presentation in a unique way that leaves people with the mind of, wow, I love this presentation. I love this lady. I love her charisma. I love her personality. I love the way she delivered. You know, so that is what makes you unique as a person. Not just because you're bearing Adeola or you're bearing Charles, you know. I'm using Dr. Charles' name. So it's not just because you're millions of Charles all over the world. So what makes you unique what makes you a person is the uniqueness you bring to the table. You know, I am a coach and I have 2 academies where I coach people. I have one for personal development. I have one for branding. And most of the time when I finish with my students, moments I hear is, oh, we love the way you teach people. There's this thing unique about the way you teach, that there is no way you will not remember. There is no way you will not want to practice. In fact, some of them say, I carry this kind of fire in my voice that when I speak, you will be forced to swing into action. You know, you will be forced to execute. You will be forced to do something. You can't be around my energy. You will tell me my energy is contagious. Your smile is contagious. This and that. You know, they will say, "Oh, there's no way you will be around. We will be around you, and we will not want to be more. We will not want to explore. We will not want to be superb." So that is what makes you a personal brand. The uniqueness you bring to the table. You know, the uniqueness you bring to the table as an individual. And when we talk about business now, thank you, Alatuji. You said don't miss the speaking fire. Okay, now when we talk about business branding now, we're talking about the uniqueness of your business. Why should I do business with you? Why should I have an Airtel SIM? While I was in Nigeria, I do not have any other SIM apart from Airtel. I have always been using Airtel. I think I used it for like 5 or 6 years, eventually before I left. In fact, I was still hoping that when I went to Nigeria, after I've been here for a while, when I went to Nigeria, I was still hoping that it would work, but probably because I wasn't really using it. So by the time I got to Nigeria, it wasn't working again. I was like, oh. So I had to go and buy another Airtel line. Okay, now I'm not here to promote Airtel. I'm just saying there's something that makes your customer stay glued to you and say, no, this is the brand I want to know. We have people even to date that they will never buy other noodles apart from. There's this brand perception. There's this way Indomie has been able to brand their business that attracts people, that makes people to be loyal to the brand. To date, you have people that will say is either it is Peak Milk or nothing. We have people that will say it is Blue Band or nothing. So what makes your customers and clients loyal to your business is your business branding. So we talk about so when it comes to business branding, we talk about your logo, we talk about your brand colors, we talk about your mission, your vision, your core values. You know, we talk about all those things. We talk about your objective as a brand. We talk about the experience the client owner will have with you, the customer service, your delivery, your brand voice. How do you treat your customer? So those are the things we talk about when we say when we talk about business branding. But today I am going to be focusing more on personal branding. I'm going to be focusing more on personal branding because I believe that everything should start from you, a person, before you even say, oh, I do a business. When you're able to build personal brand, doing business is going to be very easy for you. It's going to be very, very simple because there's something we call KLT factor in branding. We say before you can do business successfully, people need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. So you as an individual, once you are able to build a strong and reputable brand, it is easy for people to do business with you. If you now say, oh, I am a business owner, I'm now into laundry services, I'm now into copywriting and ghostwriting, you know, your person, you as a person, you need to be able to attract people with your uniqueness. Oh, I am a content creator, I am a copywriter, I am a ghostwriter. Why should I do business with you? And the mistake most of us make, put our business brand at the front. And you know, we just neglect our personal brand or attention to their personal brand. You hear something like, oh, I'm a ghostwriter, I can help you write a very good book. What do you say?
They don't even know it.
You said something.
And then someone don't even know about their personal brand.
Keep shouting about their brand. I am a ghostwriter. Come and give me job. Come and give me work. Now, not convince me why I should give you the job and not give someone else. Why should I leave Chukwemeka and come and give you the job as a content writer? When you are promoting your personal brand, you should be able to identify your unique abilities, and that is what you will promote. And that's what we call personal branding. Personal branding is the process of promoting your uniqueness, promoting what you stand for. My uniqueness is my ability to teach you in a simple way that you will understand as a coach. So that is my selling point. That is what I keep promoting. I am a good coach. I am going to teach you in the most effective way, or I am going to teach you in the simplest way, that even if you are sleeping, you'll be hearing my voice, because that's what my students say. I'm tired of them. They will say, coach, when I'm sleeping, I used to hear your voice in my ears. I'm like, am I a witch? I don't understand you people. It's like you people are now, you are not taking this to another level, you know. You hear something like, I used to hear your voice, because for me personally, I prefer to teach people with video and audios than writing. I don't know. I flow more. I am able to express myself more while speaking than when I'm writing. So I tell most of them when they come to my academy, I'm going to be using audio and videos. So people say, our data, I'll just tell them, you need to know that knowledge is not cheap. You need to spend, you need to commit your resources. So I tell them most of the time I don't use text. And if I have to use text, I use ebooks. I put it in PDF and send to them, you know. So that is my own uniqueness. That is my own unique way of passing my message across to anyone who is listening or who is around or who is my audience. You know, so
yeah,
personal branding. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm already seeing this as a very big ocean. It's a very big ocean to swim in now. And, you know, Prince David has his way of helping us through to just cut the ocean small, and, you know, we navigate through. So I know he's been willing to ask some questions. So you'll be asking questions around, you know, where you really want to major on today. And it will help us to be able to pinpoint some of those things so that people will not start hearing too many voices in their sleep.
Thank you, Lem. Thank you. I hope I got your name. Thank you for joining. Okay, Prince David, I will be glad to work with you.
Yeah. So
let's
Prince David. So pardon this, Keno. I trust you.
Whoa. I'm already hearing a lot of voices without even sleeping yet.
Don't start. You should not just start. Don't even start.
That's me. I'm building a personal brand. My host is building a personal brand. You know, you are building a personal brand. Everybody here seems to be doing something around personal branding. So, you know, I'll ask a bunch of questions, a couple of things. You know, from the aesthetics of personal branding to the messaging of personal branding, everything that has to do with personal branding. But I would ensure I don't ask too many questions. I'll just take it one after the other, and so But let me start from the aesthetics. You know, these are discussions and arguments I've had with my friends. You know, they are
Okay.
too concerned about, according to what we just watched, too concerned about the logo and then the studio pictures, pose for the camera here, pose for the camera there. You know,
Especially for we that we love pictures like this.
exactly.
Selfie gang.
So by the way, while those things are extremely important, I'm sure that as a branding expert, there might be, you know, some things that you personally advise, you know, people to do when they have to take pictures. For example, let me throw this out. I was reading something some time ago. One photographer from South Africa is one of the best in the continent, and he takes photographs of very influential people. And was saying every time they are building a personal brand, they come to him. What he likes to do is to tell them to take three kinds of pictures: three pictures that depict who they are, three pictures that depict who they want people to think they are, and one picture that depicts who they are, another one that depicts who they want people to think they are, and the last one that depicts who they want to be. You know, three different kinds of pictures. And you know, for the first time, I was hearing that even photographs had dimensions. I mean, you had to do this and do that. But for you, when it comes to the aesthetics of branding, so that it does not overshadow what that brand really stands for, what will you tell me as someone who is building a personal brand?
Okay. Okay, I'm going to use your illustration as an example. Just like the photograph, say, okay, take a picture of who you are. Take the picture of who you want to see you, how you want people to see you, or who you want people to see you, and what you want to look like. Okay, for me as a brand, I will tell you, take a picture of who you want, the top category of picture. Who, not because if you say how you want people to see you, that means you are faking a lot of things. You're putting a lot of things that are not real into it. And that is where people mix it up most times. They tend to mix up how I want people to see me or who I want to be. You know, they mix the two up. My hosts are not here. I think the network has locked them out. Okay, are you still here? Okay, okay. So I will advise, okay, I will advise that you go for who you want to be or how you want to look like in the future. Because just like this saying that dress the way you want to be addressed. If you want to be a CEO, dress like one. Don't say, oh, because I'm not yet a CEO, let me dress like a pauper. Let me dress like a apprentice. Let me dress like a common man, you know. So I will advise people for branding. Just like I said, branding is about perception. How people perceive you. So you might even dress like who you are, and people perceive you in another way entirely. So I think most of the time, apart from using your image to pass a perception across to people, you also need to consistently tell people who you are now, what you stand, what value you have, what value are you bringing to the table beyond your logo, beyond whatever it is you're packaging, you know, and pushing out to people. You need to also be able to tell us exactly who you are, what you stand for, and what you're doing. Because I tell people, I am not a witch. I'm not sure anybody here is a witch. But so I don't have the kind of spirit to know who you are except to tell me. And the unfortunate part of it is that when you don't tell people who you are, they will give you a name. Unfortunately, they might give you a name that will not go well with you at the end of the day. They'll give you a name that you don't even like, and you'll be like, am I this person? You know? So you need to consistently tell people or us as your audience, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. So that is just it. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, perfectly. But I'll bring something else into that now. Maybe
Okay.
you'll just help me clarify the perspective on that. So I'm prepping myself to become an executive, say in finance. I'm hoping to head the biggest financial institution in the world. Everybody knows those are the suit and tie guys, very corporate, very, very tailored guys. But then my personality is the very extroverted kind, very funky, very trendy kind of person. How do I bring all of this into my personal brand and let people know that I'm funky and trendy? At the same time, I'm a financial guru, a Warren Buffett to the core, that kind of a thing.
Okay, so how you can, your question is how you can align your personality to your brand or to your career as it is now. How you are able to manage both together, right? I want to be sure I got your question. Is that your question? How you will be able to align your personality with your career or with the kind of brand you are building as a finance professional? Is that it, Prince David?
Yes.
Okay, so it's very easy. It's very easy. There is a way our personality influences our career. Some people will literally go for some jobs that align with their personality. For instance, this kind of personality you painted now, an extrovert person, an outspoken person, a funky, lively person, is more likely to do well as a public speaker because he or she will be able to express him or herself very well. Like people will flow with them because they are lively people. They are fun to be with. They will be able to carry their audience along and they will be able to make everybody understand what they're trying to communicate. So some people go for some professions that are in line with their personality, and that is perfectly okay. But for people that have chosen some kind of other career, for instance, I am also a professional, a finance professional, and I'm an accountant, and I work full time as an accountant. So and it's just like the scenario you painted was just the perfect one because I am also extroverted and I'm also a finance professional. So it's whatever it is I'm telling you is going to be coming from a place of experience, a personal experience. So how are you able to manage? Because for professional, for finance professional are people of melancholy. There are more people that will function well as a finance professional should be people who are more of melancholy in nature, melancholy in nature. People who are detailed, people who are organized, people who are skeptical, people who are always, they want to know facts. So I'm not too of a melancholy. I won't say I'm too of a melancholy. Okay, I'm more of choleric. My primary personality is choleric. I have a bit of sanguine, and some people say I have some melancholy traits too. Okay, fine. Probably it's because of the kind of work I finally chose. That was how I'm able to be a bit of melancholy. Naturally, I'm not sure I'm a melancholy. So how am I able to manage my personality with my career professional? It's just understanding the rules and the game of the profession. It's just understanding that as an accountant, as a finance professional, you need to be meticulous. You need to be detailed. You need to have an analytical mind. You need to be able to make a good decision, and because we deal with business, we account for business. So you need to be able to help the business owner or the stakeholders to make meaningful decisions with your financial statement. So it's just a matter of understanding the rule of the game of your profession, of your career, and just working in line with it. Because at the end of the day, that is what puts food on your table, not your personality. Your personality will say, oh, I am this and this, and they will give you money in bank. No, that's not what puts food on your table. Your job, your career, your profession is still what puts food on your table. So if that is what puts food on your table, then you should be able to dance to the tune of professional ethics. You should be able to align yourself willingly to the nature of your career or to the nature of your job. As an accountant, you need to be detailed. You don't just look at something from the surface. You have to dive deep. You have to tell stories. My boss will say, tell me the story behind this accounting entry, and you begin to explain. When this money came in, it did not go to the right account. You have to. So they need to know details. It's not just that I'm debiting this account, I'm debiting this account. There's nothing like that. So you need to be detailed. You need to be patient to be able to explain, this is the reason why I'm taking this decision. So it's just a matter of whatever career you find yourself, you should be able to align your personality in such a way that it will work well with the ethics of the profession. So I think that answers your question.
That's extremely detailed. But then I still want to ask. I mean, from just what we just said, how then do I appear or sound? Let me use LinkedIn for example. On LinkedIn, what is most popular are personal brands. Most people are personal brands. That's what you see on LinkedIn. Unlike every other medium, LinkedIn is really, personal brandish. That's a word like that. So on my LinkedIn, I want to appear like a finance professional. I'm going to wear a suit, most likely a black suit or a deep blue suit, as they say in the finance world, and then I'm going to look very serious, very melancholy, as you said. But then in my communication, because somehow our personality and our original temperament have a way of clouding over the things we say and how we say them. In my communications, I'm going to be sounding a bit sanguinish, if that's a correct word too. I hope that one day my words in the dictionary. But
don't be afraid to pray.
Oh, I'm sounding very sanguinish. So today I'm going to be sounding very interesting, very funky. If you were a potential client, wouldn't you interpret that as this guy not being up to what a finance professional should be like? Some people are very judgmental. They just read your text, they hear you speak, and they just conclude right away. This is how he is. This is how she is. Do you think that would be good enough for the growth of a personal brand?
Okay, I'll go back to where I'm coming from, where I said you should understand the rules of the game. The way an accountant will communicate investment content. For instance, I'm a finance professional. I want to write about investment, types of investment, the various type of risk, that is associated with each of these investment type, blah, blah, blah. I want to write something like that. Of course, that's a serious topic to talk about. You don't start making jokes of something that is really serious like that. And at the same time, you shouldn't be too serious in a way that people are not interested. Your content becomes very boring and people are not interested. So the long and short of this is finding a way to strike a balance between your career, between your presentation, between your content and your personality. I told you I have a bit of sanguine in me. And for me, most of the time, if you check my content very well, there is no way I am going to be strict. Like I want to be professional. I just want to be a professional person. I want to stay on this lane of professionalism. That I will not find a way to inject some sense of humor. Sense of humor in a way that it will make your language of communication to be more relaxed. It will make people to be more interested in what you're saying. It will make people to be more comfortable around your content. So there's a way. So it's all about. It shouldn't be too much because of the kind of profession you're handling. Because you're a finance professional, and when you're talking about money is a serious matter. When you're talking about finance is a serious matter, and the nature of the profession is even a serious one. So you shouldn't come around and just joke about everything, especially some sensitive areas. You're talking about people losing money in investment, and you're joking about it. That's not fair, even on the part of people who are listening to you, on the part of your audience. So there is a way you can strike a balance by trying to maintain your professionalism and by also trying to balance your personality as a sanguine, who is always very funny, very jovial, and all that. So it has its own advantage because as a sanguine, people have to be around you. Your language, your style of communication makes it fun for people to even want to read your comments, for people to even want to read your content. Hi, Aderon Kare, good to have you. Chooks, thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone who's joining. Thank you very much. So, so it's all about being able to strike a balance. Being able to strike a balance between the two, because at the end of the day, when you're too strict, when you're too harsh with your style of communication, people get bored, and they are not interested at the end of the day with whatever it is you're saying. So I will advise that there should be a way you can strike a balance. It won't be too, it won't be too boring. It won't be too strict. And at the same time, it won't be too funny in such a way that you now lose the value of the message you're trying to pass across. So I hope that answers your question.
So in my biggest study has been companies that went from good to great. I've read Jim Collins's Good to Great. I've read his Built to Last. Those kinds of books. And there is this undertone when you're reading something like Good to Great or Built to Last. And I'm talking of for the leader now, the leadership.
Okay.
That goes from good to great. Jim Collins said from his works, most of the companies that went from good to great, most of the companies that were just great, are companies that don't have founders or CEOs who pay attention to their own personal branding. Now, that is, changing because CEOs and the big bosses, CEO of Amazon, Amazon, Alibaba, the founder of all this company, they are becoming more intentional, if you notice, about their own personal brand, what they want people to think about them when they build a company. But it hasn't always been that way. For me, that's a problem because one of the things I want to leave behind on earth is a very fantastic company. I mean, an extremely fantastic company. Everybody wants to do that. But if we are building a very fantastic company and the rule book says don't pay attention to yourself, don't let them see you, don't let them feel you, see the company, let them feel the company, how then do we build the tic-tac-toe when we are putting the corporate brand alongside the personal brand? What do we do? Which do we pipe low? You're a brand expert. The things that I'm sure you do every day. Those are kind of advices that you've most likely given people in the past. But it's a very big thing, I'm telling you. The big argument. I have a lot of guys that have this argument. It's a big argument. Big argument.
Okay. I got your question very well. I will go with the school of thought that says you should promote your personal brand more. You should promote your personal brand more.
Wow.
Or I will go with the school of thought that say you should promote your personal brand equally with your business brand. The same way you're paying attention to your business brand is the same way paying attention to your personal brand. In corporate law, in company law, there's something we call veil of incorporation. There's something we call veil of incorporation. As a company, as a limited liability company, you have those veil of incorporation covering up, hiding the directors, the chairman, the executive board, hiding them, So they tell you that a company is a legal entity, is a separate legal entity, different from its owners. So for instance, if you own a share, if you own shares in GTB, you are dealing with GTB, not the MD of GTB, MD, chairman. They have no business with you. Do you understand? So the veil of incorporation has shield them sort of from any wahala that you can be bringing as a corporate entity. But there's something we call unveiling the veil of incorporation. When the chips are down, that veil that you think are hiding under, that you think is protected, that you think is shielding you from people harassing you and saying, you stole our money, you ruined our company. That veil will be what? Will be lifted, will be unveiled. And that's what we call unveiling the veil of incorporation. They will remove that veil and they will show all of you, they will show your faces. And that is when you will see that when a bank, a company or a bank or whatever go bankrupt or is going into liquidation, they will start mentioning, they will now sue the company, the directors of the company they will now begin to sue them one by one. You see them publishing their newspaper saying these are the people behind the downfall of this company. So that is to tell you that there is no way you can hide and say, oh, I am not going to show my face. I'm not going to protect my personal brand. And you are just hiding there. Because one day that veil will be lifted and people will see your face that you are the ones behind that company or that business. So that is to tell you that your personal brand is important. Some people will not want to do business with some companies just because of the kind of MD they have. They say, oh, that man is the MD of that. No. That man is a very corrupt man. That man is a very careless man. That man is a very rude. Something as simple as rudeness can make people not do business with your brand, with your company, with your business. So that is to tell you that personal branding, or let's say you as a personal brand, you are equally important. It is equally important that you take care of your brand. You take care of your reputation. You won't say, oh, I am a fraudster, and that is just me. It is me. That's nothing to do with my business. No, it has a lot to do with your business. Or don't say, I don't like to dress well. I just like to dress anyhow. And just it's not just about me. Just don't worry. Just face my company. It has nothing to. No, because if we are not sure you can take care of yourself, how are we sure we are going to take care of the company? How are we sure that our money is safe with your company? Ordinarily comb your hair, you cannot comb your hair. And say, my hair, this one, don't worry, just, don't worry about it. And people are like, are you sure? Somebody said something one day, it's actually very funny. Somebody said, do you know why some people usually borrow car? For instance, you don't have a car and you're trying to bid for a contract, and they say, okay, come and defend your proposal. And someone answered, do you know why some people used to borrow car to go? Because if the owner of the company or the person that wants to give you the contract just see you come down from Okada, the first thing that will come to their mind is, this one I don't have a car. If they give you money, we know how they went to the we didn't know how they went to our money and go and buy a car. They will have this mentality of a wretched person. Are you sure if we give this one our money, he will not run away and go and buy a car straight? And when people see that you're not well dressed, they will say, this one that is not wearing good suits. I hope if we give him our money, we'll not disappear with our money and go and buy suit and shoe first, So that is why your appearance, the way you present yourself as a person really matters. Because just like I said, branding is all about perception. Branding is all about perception. So you need to build a good brand personally, and you also need to pay attention to your business brand. So the two should be side by side. One should not be put on top of the other. So they should work, side by side in order to get maximum results. So that is just it. I hope you got the point.
I didn't get the point. I got maybe like a million points. Plus, I'll be getting my dreams. Whoa. I've been paying attention to a lot of brands in Africa, brands abroad. Brands. For you personally, how do you build a personal brand? What do you do as a strong brand? Is it the one that has the
I don't know. There's this noise from background. I don't know whether it's from me or from you. So I can hardly hear you. Yes, I can hardly hear you. But please go ahead. I'll try and pick.
Oh wow.
Don't worry, just go ahead. I'll try and pick.
Okay. It's been raining since morning, so
okay.
But for you, what do you perceive as a strong personal brand? That's for you personally. How do you weigh a strong personal brand? What are the parameters you use to do that when you're judging a personal brand? This guy is building a very strong brand. Or when someone is still in the early days of building the brand, how do you know that this brand will be very strong in 5 years' time?
Two things are really, really important. Two things. Number one is your appearance as a brand. How do you appear? Start from your professional, your picture. Just like I said, when you're looking one kind, people are even scared to come near you. They're like, oh, are you sure this one doesn't even know what he or she is talking about? You should. This is not a matter of packaging. This is not a matter of fake it till you make it. This is not a matter of that one. It's a matter of presenting yourself the same way you want people to address you, or the way you want people to take it. If you appear serious, people will take it serious. If you appear anyhow, people will take you on seriously and they will just joke with you. So your appearance is number one. Then number two is your content, the value you're bringing to the table. So under the appearance, I'm going to talk about your professional picture. I'm going to talk about your bio. I'm going to talk about your cover photo on your social media. I'm going to talk about relationship building. You know, so there are so many things under that appearance. Just that appearance. There's so many things under it. How do you build relationship? What are the things that are important to you in building your relationship? So your bio, like, we should at a glance, we should know what it stands for. We should know what you are all about. You know, we shouldn't be cracking our brain before we identify you, because branding is all about identity, your unique identity. So at a glance, looking at your picture, looking at your bio, looking at your cover photo, we should be able to say, this is exactly who this person is. This is someone who is serious about building a reputable brand, a brand that is going to last for generations. You know, that is number one. Then number two is your content, your value, the value you're bringing to the table. It's not just about, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. Okay, you know, a lot of people come out say, oh, let me come down to the level of business now. Let me say, okay, someone is saying, I am a fashion designer. I've seen a lot of fashion designers on LinkedIn too. I've seen photographers, you know, professional photographers. And I am a photographer. Come and patronize me. Come and engage my services. You know, you keep shouting that. But I'm saying, we have millions of photographers in the world. Why should I engage you? So you'll now be able to communicate your values in such a way that I will be able to prefer you, or I will be convinced that I need to do business with you than someone else. So what am I talking about in terms of value? Tell them that you will give them a professional headshot. For instance, now as a photographer, you want to market yourself, and you are promoting your brand. Don't let me use the word market. You're trying to promote your brand. And instead of shouting, I am a photographer, come and engage me. I am a photographer, invite me to your event. I am a photographer, let me come and take your pictures. You know, instead of shouting that, why not tell them why they should prefer you? What uniqueness are you bringing to the table? I'm going to give you a nice headshot that will make clients run after you, that will give you a good perception. You know, so give them why you should be hired and not someone else. You know, I will give you a good picture that will leave you with memories of years. You know, that will make memories to be fresh with you. You know, so many things, so many values. Because I think I read somebody's bio, and the person said, I am more than a photographer. I brand your memories. You know, something like, I brand your memories, that I pass a message through pictures. Something like, I document through pictures. I give you the memories of years through professional pictures. You know, so those are the type of things that you should be saying, not, oh, come and engage me. And when I hear that you're going to communicate through your picture to me, or I'm going to help you communicate to your audience through nice and professional pictures, I'm like, wow. Because the truth is, a single image can say thousands of words without you opening your mouth. If I post a picture now, I can tell you, I can say, okay, what is the meaning of this picture? And you know, a lot of thoughts, a lot of perception, a lot of perspective will be coming up. Oh, this picture depicts this, it represents this, this is the meaning. So you can use just a picture without even saying a word to communicate. So you as a photographer, you can tell me, I will help you use pictures to communicate with your audience. So that is what stands out for me, your value. Your value, the values you're bringing to the table as a brand, and your appearance. Those are the two things that will stand out for me when I'm talking about branding to a client or to someone who is just trying to, you know, build a brand. Are we still together?
Oh goodness.
Yes. so much.
Oh.
Oh,
Are you there? I
okay.
think the network is.
Yeah, the network isn't really cool there. Okay, really, really interesting. For branding is so interesting that I think here in Africa, we haven't been able to really maximize the benefit of branding. You know, I was going through even the almighty Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is valued to be around 70 something billion dollars, and that's a company that sold first of all in 1886. Uh, Apple started up in 1972 or thereabout, the early 1970s, and Apple is valued to be over 2 trillion at the moment. $2 trillion. Coca-Cola is valued to be uh, just 70+ billion dollars, less than $100 billion. That's, it's about like 20 of that in 2 trillion plus. By age, you know, uh, they are nowhere when we talk about Coca-Cola beside them. However, brand experts have, let us to realize that even the equity for Coca-Cola has over 60% on their brand representation, like what people just perceive of them, what they just feel of them, than even the product they are bringing. Look at Facebook. Look at Dangote in Africa, in Nigeria. Somebody started earlier than the other. But when you look at, the quality of their personal brand and business brand, I don't want to talk about it now from the aspect of, okay, maybe they are dealing in different industries. Yeah, technology is actually, the exponential effect to all of these guys. It's really making the sense for the tech guys. But when you look at it, you realize that one of the advantages that the tech guys have is that it's only when they point to them that, oh, that's the CEO of so company. You don't see them even, making the noise. Let's say Zuckerberg now. You don't see him talking on Facebook and coming and say, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Facebook. I'm saying a shout out to all of you. This is how we're going to do today on Facebook. When you wake up on Facebook this morning, this is what you're going to do. That's not happening. But there are some guys, if they don't do that, we feel they are not good guys, And when you look at it, all around Africa, I've not, seen too well those big guys that have been able to turn over the profound effect of their personal branding to their corporate or business brand. Mostly because people still don't have a very granular, understanding about how personal branding can impact business branding. And that's so loud when we talk about, the way people do politics in Africa. You see people who are supposed not to be talked to. Like when you see them on the street like this, you should hide them and not even say hi to them. You understand? Yet they come out, they still pull the biggest strings, even with their, very poor and decayed personal brand. You still see them doing business, and people still want to patronize them. People still feel that, okay, they can't do anything about them. So what is it like in Africa? Because one of those things I've seen, is because of this misunderstanding of how personal brand can impact grossly on business brand. People have not been able to, really do well in that aspect. What do you think it's best for us in Africa? Because there's so much. there's so much that we need to maximize when it comes to personal branding for corporate effectiveness.
Okay, I understand your point perfectly well. But you will also agree with me that in most cases, people neglect personal brand and they say, oh, let's just leave that one. It's most times in political affairs where there's free money as it is. Let me just be loyal to this person. What concerns me, whether they are doing it, whether they are, because as a person now, you're representing a party. If you're a politician, you're representing a party. And if you're representing a party, probably you're also representing the country at large. So we can call you as a politician a personal brand, we can call party the business brand, and we can call the country the corporate brand. So most of the time, why people do not really pay attention to the personal brand of whoever is involved is that let's just collect money from them. Let's just collect money. It's the country's money. Let's spend everything together. And that is the reason why we are still here today, because we have not been able to link these individuals we have not been able to link them to their business brand, which is the party they represent. And that's where you will hear today when people talk about APC and PDP, they say, they keep switching. You see someone switch from APC today to PDP. Someone switch from PDP to ADB or something, or ADF or something. They keep switching up and down. And at the end of the day, it's all about individuals. It's not about the party. Whichever party you're representing has nothing to do with your personal values. Because at the end of the day, you are going to be the one working. You are going to be the one delivering, not the party. APC doesn't go to government house. APC doesn't eat. It is you that will be executing whatever it is you want to execute. It is you that will be giving directives, orders, implementing policies and strategies and all that. So I think as Africans, we need to begin to understand that there is a direct link between a personal brand and this is not an if link. There is a direct correlation between them. So whatever happens to whatever it is that is going on with an individual is what you should expect in the business brand they are representing. So if somebody is defecting from APC to B, just know that it's the same thing that is going to happen. So there is not some people, you see some people in social media, they'll be arguing about one party is better than one party. And you see these people keep switching. They will switch for 3 years. After another 3 years, they'll switch again. So what if it's the same people, same set of people switching up and down to make up this party? What is the difference? So I think that is more synonymous to the political brand as a whole. But talk about the other business brand that deals with goods and services. I am not sure that is applicable. I'm not sure that is applicable. I am sure that that is going to impact them, because just like if you go bankrupt now, I'm not really sure that this bankruptcy policy is really effective in Nigeria. I'm not sure. But in other advanced countries, if you are declared bankrupt, you can be shouting and be rejoicing, oh, I am free, I will not pay you people again, I am free from you. You drag yourself to court and go and declare yourself bankruptcy. And the court say, you know what, this guy has been declared bankruptcy. Don't disturb him for any debt again. Don't ask him for any money. All the debtors, they chase them away and you are jubilating. That is not the end of it. Because that your personal brand that has just had a problem, being declared bankrupt, is going to affect a lot of things. You cannot contest for a political post. So that is to tell you that your personality, your brand as a person has a way of influencing other things. Your business brand, your corporate brand. You cannot contest as a president. You cannot contest as anything in your local, municipal, in your area. There are so many opportunities that you cannot be a part of just because you've been declared bankruptcy. You understand? So there is a direct link. But when we start realizing it in Nigeria and in other African countries, when we start paying attention to it, when we start talking about it the same way we have been talking about it, I believe there will be changes. People will begin to realize that these things are real, and they have a way of they have a way of affecting each other. So that is just what I want to say about that.
Wow. Thank you so much. My
Prince David, what?
Thank you,
No,
ma.
not really. Not really.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. You know, one of those places where people have refused to learn the concept of brand, you know, influence is Instagram. You see, when you look at Instagram, I take my time to, you know, really understudy concepts from the smallest place possible. And I noticed that, you see, you just want one guy to talk about your product, and people don't care what the guy is saying, but because he already mentioned your product, people just emotionally, unknowingly give your product a trial. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
because of the
hey,
person influencing it. Yeah.
yeah, let us just check it out. You know, that's one of the biggest lesson, or where to learn the direct link between personal brand, business brand, and corporate brand. You see, people like see Ronaldo now, Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, Rock, and all of them like that. They are even being paid by Instagram for posts they make, because they've gotten so much visible that anything that they just talk about, you know, the number of followers that Cristiano Ronaldo has is more than the whole of Nigeria put together. Just one person, like, is over
Wow.
200 million. Over
Wow.
200 million. So that's how, you know, personal brand can be strong. Now the thing is
Mhm.
this, you know, personal brand and all of it like that. If we want to talk about it without mentioning the word brand, we say social capital. Now, how do people perceive you? How do people see you? And what's the impact of the perception people have on you, on whatever you are doing? In Africa, you know, it's a great pain. I seriously see it as a great setback for us in Africa, because many times you see people have not been able to maximize the topmost value possible. They have not been able to reach the topmost potential that is available, because they have not been able to properly synchronize their personal brand and the corporate brand, their business brand. And you know, one of those things why we have this platform is to be able to bring to proper notice of the people those things that really matter in business. People pay for influence. You know,
Yeah.
one of those things to be really rich and influential is you own a bank, you own a media house, or you are not influential. You know, you see people when we talk about influence, you hold where people get their information from and where people get their money from. That strength makes you really influential. You know, behind the scene, our guys in Africa have been really great, you know, behind the scene in paying their way for influence,
Mhm.
paying their way up for influence. But in real sense, you know, when we look at it, I notice that there's still a lot of gap in bridging personal brand with corporate brand. Now, talking about quality, you know, I made a comment in the comment section, and I talked about, I say, you know, it just came to me that, you know, guard your brand jealously. Guard your brand jealously. I want you to just talk about that, you know, what advice, because beyond the statistics, beyond the paid influence, beyond the, you know, the corporate jargons and the terminologies of brand, beyond the, you know, all of it like that, there is that immaterial part of it that people cannot actually explain, but it has a way of impacting on who you are, and it can be generational. Then will begin to look at you because of your father. There's a way I begin to you because of your mother. I may not be able to agree, but I just feel like, oh, you should be a good person because your father was a good person. And there's a way I'll just feel like, oh,
Impression.
the son of a snake should be a snake. What has happened? So guarding your brand jealously. I want you to just help us talk about that. It's going to be.
Okay.
I know you are all out for us. It will touch some people. We will shake them. I don't care. So let's rules and then make everything.
Okay. You already said a lot about that, and I'll start from where you finished, where you talk about the fact that there's a way people see you just because of the kind of name you carry. It's just like saying you are Adeola Abacha. Even before people come close to you, they will look at you.
That name? Why did you mention that name? That was what was in my mind when I said, the son of a snake will look like a snake.
And people will first move back a bit before they talk to you and say, you are not really sure. You are not really sure you are not a killer. You're not really sure you are not a fraudster. You're not really sure you are not an oppressor. We are not really sure you are not someone who wants to force down his opinion on people. And so, just like you said, there is a way people look at you. And that is why it is very important for us to be careful the way we handle our brand. Just like you said, guard your brand jealously. Because the long and short of it is that I do tell people, I tell them, I am not building a mushroom brand. I'm not building a local brand. I'm building a global brand. I'm building an international brand. I'm building a long-lasting brand that when I am no more, when I've gone to the world beyond, my children, my children's children, my generations to come are able to, profit from the kind of brand I have been able to build, from the kind of name. I want them to be like, when they go to places, that's the common example I usually give. When they go to places and you say, oh, good morning, sir, and the receptionist is trying to give you, this kind of hype, the receptionist will say, good afternoon, what do you want? So by the time you just say, good morning, my name is so, I am the daughter of Omobabinrin. It rings a bell and like, wow, you're welcome, ma. Thank you for me. Please let us, that is the kind of brand I am building. It might not look like it yet. It might not be looking like it now, but it's a gradual step. It's a gradual process with your consistency, with the kind of value, with your effort, with your energy. It is achievable. So I tell people that is the kind of brand I am building. The kind of brand that Nelson Mandela built, that makes his name so powerful throughout the world that there is no place that Nelson Mandela's children, great-grandchildren will get to, and they won't give them that honor. They won't give them that prestige that, oh, you are the grandchild of Nelson Mandela, you are the, So that is the kind of brand we should all build. Brand is just a video you played before we started this live video. It's talking about the fact that brand is all about reputation. What is your reputation like? And that is why I usually tell people, or especially people that usually say, oh, I don't care what people say about me. As much as that statement is correct, as much as that statement is valid, most of us don't look at it from the second angle. The second angle of, if what people are saying about you is what is in the books, will you still not care? Like, people say you are a fraudster, and you're not a fraudster. You are not and you will just keep quiet and say, oh, I really do not care what people say about me. And it's everywhere on social media that you're a fraudster. And your children grow up to go to Google and they discover that they said their mother is a fraudster. And you're saying you still do not care. You will need to care at the end of the day. You need to care at the end of the day, because that thing is going to impact not just you, it's going to impact your generations to come. So, in conclusion, that is just it. Let us be careful the way we build our brand. Let us be careful the way we go about, with our reputation, because it's going to have a long-lasting effect, not just on us, but on our unborn generation and on our children's children that are yet to be here, you know, it is going to help to profit from the kind of works you have done. Maybe it is good or bad, they're going to profit from it. So so that's just the summary, that's just the conclusion of the whole thing. And I hope I was able to drive home your points.
Beautiful. You're able to convince and not
confuse you. Thank you that I am not thank God I'm not a confusionist. I am so glad. Thank you, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, and my fellow students. What will I say now? They are fellow debaters. That's good. That's good.
I think it's always a good experience. Which day was that? I was just thinking about it. I've been a member of the Literary and Debating Club from my primary one to, I think, to now. You know, it's one of those parts we have to take in life to make us different and unique. Prince David, do you have any question, you know, on a final note for Omobabinrin?
I really need to give you kudos for pronouncing my name very well. I guess you have gone to LinkedIn to go and check that pronunciation part to go and know to go and know how to pronounce my name. How did you know? You need to tell me how you know how to pronounce my name, because a lot of people, the way they will pronounce the name for you. Even the so native, and you would think, oh, this person should be able to. They will still pronounce Omobabinrin, I'm like, wow, are you kidding me? You know. So when I heard you pronounce it well, I was really impressed.
Thank you so much. I used to interpret Yoruba to English in church then, you know. Growing up.
No wonder.
So I got some necessary skills along the way. I just remember that, yeah, I didn't even check. I didn't check the pronunciation on
I had to put it there so that people will not bother. They would not see my name.
It's good.
So, Prince David, I'm with you.
Yep. I don't have any questions. You know, I usually tell my guys that how I measure conversations is if I came, hey, this network thing.
I can hear you, Papa.
We can hear you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. If I came into the room foggy and I leave with clarity, I consider that an extremely valuable conversation. That's what I tell my guys. If I came in foggy, if I came in a bit, you know, with the vagueness, everything in my mind, the branding thing, everybody's talking about branding, everybody's doing branding. Then I leave the room with more clarity, you know, more direction, more precision. For me, it's an extremely valuable conversation. Today, I've had an extremely valuable conversation. Extremely valuable.
Wow. Thank you for that great feedback.
It was extremely fantastic, and you know, your ginger too really added to the fun of the entire.
No dull moments.
But I don't have any questions. So many things. I got this book just to be writing and writing and writing. Everything I hear on business. Don't let me start with ArkoFGod, but I've really been writing. Thank you.
Who has noticed?
Thank you for having me.
Who has noticed that I'm such a unique combination of this powerful brand, these two powerful brands here? You know, I have a dimple. She has dimple. I have open. Is it truth now, or I don't know how they call it? Don't mind them.
They have this name they usually call it. So me, I'm not even interested since I don't have. So let them be keeping their name.
They call it their stemma. Sometimes they call it stemma, yeah, something like that. You see, I'm a unique brand.
So you have the two. We need to give you some money. Oh, that's good to know.
Really, it's really an amazing time today, and I feel really cool. You know, many times, the whole thing about branding is, first of all, awareness, and you know, your ability to communicate it. one of my greatest mentor, John C. Maxwell. He said, "Leader, everything rises and falls on leadership, but leadership rises and falls on communication. Some communicate and they don't connect. And until you connect, actually, before you can collect, it's very important. Many times people carry pack of energy, people carry astounding features in their corporate business, in their personal, being and all of it like that. But the inability to communicate it's always the setback. It's always the setback. Yeah, I'm always going to create, a divide between Africa and the world, because this platform, we actually, bringing it up to help Africa to rise. We are bringing it up to help Africa to take responsibility for ourselves and become great. One of those things that the Western world know how to do better than us is they can sell anything. Give them a piece of paper, they can sell it to you. But an average African does not know how to sell his gold. I mean gold. So he sees the gold as raw. And because he does not know how to sell it, they buy it from him raw price. They are buying it because they can see the blinking, glittering gold. They buy from us the cocoa. They take it over there and they bring back the
and
chocolate.
process it. Yeah, and we still buy it at exorbitant prices. Yeah.
You see, when they want to sell to you, the same concept came to business. They are selling to you a business that is not physically, is not worth more than $1 million. But they will tell you there's something called valuation. It is immaterial, but they are already seeing it. Even when you cannot relate with it, they are already seeing it. And when they are done communicating it to you, you say, "Hey, I think I'm cheating you guys. It's worth more than that." We have not been brought up properly in the art and arts of communication.
Network. We can't hear you again. Prince David, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I think the network has seized his voice.
Yes, was cut off by the network thing there. Is he back?
No.
Are you back? Okay.
Okay.
I think you are back now.
Yep.
Hello.
Yep.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. There's a case I'm actually studying now. There's a case under my watch I'm studying now. How the big Jack Ma, how in less than a year he has fallen from $60+ billion to $38 billion. All because of what he said. Communication. The network is behaving somehow here. Oops.
But it's fine. We can still see and hear you.
Oh, okay. I think I'm having still pictures from you people. Hello.
Since we are trying to round up, I think it's fine. So
Yeah.
probably the network is telling us it's time to go.
Yep.
But I can see all of you. I can see the two of you.
Okay. Yeah, I can see the two of you, but it's a still picture. Although I'm hearing the voice, it's clear. No worries. Okay. Yeah, but I really want. Okay, I want to see you, because at this point I wanted to just round up and tell us one or two things about what you do and how you have been in the space. impacting. And I want to say, actually that you are welcome to LinkedIn. I was tired of Facebook. I ran
yes,
away.
you need to do a welcome party for me.
I was tired of Facebook, so I ran away from Facebook. I came to
And
LinkedIn.
I've told my Facebook people too that I will run away from them. I think I'm enjoying LinkedIn more now. It's a sane environment, it's really lively.
The conversation are mentally stimulating, and it's something that adds up every time you come around. So it's a beautiful one. So in just a moment, I would like you to just discuss with us shortly. Tell us what do you do, and then how people can be of benefit, how that can be of benefit to people, or how people can take advantage of it.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So just like I said, I do two things. I am a personal development coach, and I'm also a branding expert. So you can also say I'm a branding coach because I also help people in terms of branding. So for the personal development, I have two academy. One where I train people on personal development, and the other one where I train people on branding. So for the personal development, I train people on 4 major areas: public speaking, personality development, self-series, and emotional intelligence. And for the branding, I train people on personal branding, business branding, and corporate branding. So these are the 3 courses I take in the academy. And I also work with individuals. For instance, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't need someone to work with me. I want to understand this myself, like a do-it-yourself thing. So they want to come into the academy, learn about branding themselves, and go and apply the knowledge to their business or to their personal life to build a personal brand or a business brand. We have people like that. So they come to the academy, they take some training courses, and they are good to go. They start implementing it in their business. And for some people, they will say, okay, I don't have time for that. I just want someone who can help me do all of these things. Just come in, rebrand my business for me, or even me as a person, rebrand me, tell me what to do, things to do to rebrand myself, to package myself, and to present myself better to the world. So basically, those are the things that I do aside my accounting 9-to-5 job.
Beautiful. It's interesting, really. Thank you for allowing yourself to be valuable. It's not an easy thing. A lot of people have been too lazy to refine themselves from the rawness of their good nature. They refuse to just refine because it takes the heat to be refined. It takes the heat to be refined, and so many people don't want the heat. And we are suffering it today. We're suffering it today. Yeah. So, what do you want to tell us on this platform? What do you think we're not doing enough of, and what do you think we need to do more of? And in a greater perspective.
Okay, I think we're doing well, but I'll just say probably there should be more publicity. I know I'm all lacking in that part because even this week, I just posted once yesterday on LinkedIn. I've not been posting like that because I've been engrossed with my 9-to-5 job. And so I would advise that we get the publicity more intensive. Let's bring more people on board. And even after this, I'm going to share this video and talk more about it. Let's bring more people on board because you are doing great here. You are doing a lot of work here that people need to be part of. They need to get the message. Because if the message is not going out to as many people as possible, it will not really be encouraging for you people that you are at the back end, doing all this work, trying to put things together. So as much as you're trying to organize it from the back end to make sure that everything is on point and you are trying to liberate people in terms of information, in terms of knowledge, because knowledge is power. When you know better, you will do better. When we are well informed about things, it will give us better results. So I think we should intensify more on our publicity and trying to reach out to as many people as possible. I know it's a gradual process, we're going to get there one day, but at least let's try and put more effort in that area to make sure that a week before the D-Day, which is on Friday, the flyer is already everywhere. If you need to engage the service of volunteers, you can call for volunteers, bring people around to help you publicize it more, and so that we can get the message across to as many people as possible. So that is just my pattern advice.
Wow, beautiful. It's really amazing. Thank you for the artsy and intentional, piece of advice. It's going to go a long way, helping us to, get better on this platform. I really, really appreciate that. It's a pleasure to have you. And I must confess, I know we didn't go really deep, and it was just just scratching the surface of what it is. We are going to be having this session again, and maybe from time to time we're going to look at how we're going to be bringing it up, maybe at interval, because this is one of the gray areas in Africa. A lot of people think they know, and most of the time, because they don't know, because you have crayon does not automatically turn you to an artist.
An artist, yeah.
You understand? People have colors that they are throwing about, they put colors in pictures, put colors in graphics, and because they have brilliant pictures, they think they have good graphics. You understand?
Yes.
So, and because of the good graphics, they think they have strong brands. No,
yeah.
that's not it. So we need to come over and heal this sickness, in Africa, heal this, deficiency in Africa, because I feel like a lot of great stores are happening in Africa, but because we have not known how to communicate properly, we have not known how to communicate, our brand intelligently, we have not been able to, sit where we belong in Africa. It's really an amazing time today. And
thank you.
I want to say a shout out to everyone who has been part of today's session. My dear friend, Dr. Charles Itua, it's a pleasure to have you. Adejoke Lasisi, I'm bringing you on this platform. It's a pleasure to have you too. She's doing really great in the waste management industry. Lem Abongwin, that's my friend from Cameroon. She's based in UAE. Thank you so much. It's good to have you. Thank you so much. Your words are so kind and encouraging. Mao C, that's my dear friend, a barista. It's good to have you. Thank you for coming around today. Uguru Chooks, thank you so much for coming up. Uguru says he needs business connection. Show up your brand, and you see people coming after you. Adironke Adeyemi, it's good to have you. That's my beautiful LinkedIn sister. HYZ Energy. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about energy another day, not today. It's good to have you too. Who else is there? And everybody who were not bold enough to come on this comment section, we really love you. Thank you so much for coming around. It's a pleasure and a great one, really, to have you. Thank you so much for coming around, everybody. It's a good one, and it's a great one. Please, David, tell us something before we go. A princely advice. I have a princess, I have a king, and I'm sorry, me, I am a king.
That was fair. Anyway, wonderful day, extremely day.
The noise.
Is it clearer now?
Just go ahead, but it's still cranky, sort of. But don't worry, we'll be able to pick.
Well, this is part of, as ArkoFGod, we are hoping that would be solved in Africa one of these days. Hopefully, we would have world-class connectivity as it is in many other countries, and we're able to do meetings like this with peace of mind. Peace of mind. But basically, because we're on a mission, we are trying to reduce business mortality in Africa. these sessions are extremely important. Business mortality across all boards. It's extremely important that we keep doing this, that we keep flying this way, and hopefully I'll be there. ArkoFGod will be there. Everybody who is viewing us currently will be there when the entire world is sitting to watch us on bigger platforms. We do big things, do great things, and would really, really transform Africa. And hopefully, nothing will do us until I don't think I will say too much. The king is still in the room, so I'll just leave most of the words to him.
I didn't hear you clearly, but it's good. I know you have given good vibes all out there. It's beautiful, and it's good to have all of us today. Omobabinrin, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you today. Maybe one of these days I'll be forced to visit Côte d'Ivoire, and I know I'll be welcome.
Yes, you will.
A pleasure.
You will eat at
a great pleasure
and a local.
So, I want to end this thing now, but still, I want us to just wait behind the scene a bit.
Okay.
Thank you. So to everybody, our audience today, we're happy and it's good to have you. Come back and dig deep into this body of knowledge. It's a pack of gold. Anywhere you strike, you will get a piece of it, and it's going to be a blessing to your business and to your person as a brand. It's good to have you again, and until we bring to the barest minimum the mortality rate of business in Africa, we are not giving up. Thank you so much. It's good to have you. See you next time. Be the best.